Thank you very much for joining me for the next session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind. One of my initiatives that I uh, keep afloat for each of my 6 month cycles has been to host dinners in my home. I've been doing this for Seder and for Thanksgiving with some regularity, as I kind of like to make the elaborate dinners, the planning, the execution, the menus, and even the cleanup kind of challenges me, engages my mind. Um, I tried to expand that last cycle and this uh, to having guests join me for Friday night dinner. Friday nights tend to be a little bit special, that even when we don't have guests, we have kiddush, we have motzi. Uh, Usually there's chicken, something with a starch. We're not much for desserts, but when I have guests, stuff gets made from scratch. I plan it. I have a nine section grid through which I plan the menu, keeping in mind what I've made before, what I've not, and mixing cuisines. It goes very well. Uh, I made this past Shabbos um, uh, chicken cacciatore as the entree and put rice underneath it. I don't have any more chicken, but I have plenty of sauce that's going to go on top of some type of pasta. Um, since there were four of us eating, a big acorn squash can be quartered. Uh, for the new item that I've never made before, I made um, gefilte fish, except did it British style, frying it and making with sea fish rather than lake fish, which is hard to obtain. Uh, it was my intent to make fluden for dessert. The crust absolutely failed, so I'll have to do that another time. But I'm experienced at making honey cake and was able to rescue that. And of course, challah is always homemade. We also have conversation before, conversation during dinner. Mostly, I've invited people I know from the synagogue. They kind of know what a Sabbath dinner is. I've had medical friends in the sukkah. One knew what a sukkah was, the other did not. Again, the planning and execution is what makes the uh, evening worth the effort. The next day, I always have a lot of dishes. It usually takes me about 2 days to clean up. I still have one more guest to invite by the end of the year to fulfill my intended um, number of events. I'd like to move beyond the synagogue. It's easy to identify people in the synagogue who can come for Shabbos. Many of them live alone, or we tend to seek out people who are under special circumstances. But my wife has a choral group. I need to kind of get to know some more people. So maybe expand the guest list uh, to other places where I've encountered people. I like recipes. I like exploring. I like cookbooks. I like using the dishes and utensils that I have. Definitely something that I plan to continue doing as long as I am physically able to do it. Thanks so much for joining me for this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind.